going to show you how to use these 3 pages that were sent home in the Easter packet. So the first page will have a cover and then 3 eggs, pink, red, and yellow. And then you'll have 2 pages with 4 eggs each with the colors orange, purple, blue, black, brown, green, gray, and white. So I have printed mine in color. But if you do not have color printing available, just make sure you read each word to your preschoolers so that they're matching the colors correctly. I would suggest kind of spreading this out over 3 days so that you have some work for your preschooler to do every day. But make sure that when you are coloring it, you color before you cut out. It'll just be a little bit easier on your preschooler to control those pages. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video right now, and when I come back, these will all be colored and I'll show you how to create your book. So I'm going to take a quick break from coloring just to give you another fun thing to do with your preschooler when coloring. So I am using this table that is like one of those folding tables, and it has a very textured surface. So if you can find different surfaces for your preschooler to color on, when they're using their crayons especially or colored pencils, then it's going to show up with a fun texture. So as I color, it leaves all those little spots from the indentations on the table inside what I've colored. And when I use a crayon, those spots are going to be bigger. But if I were to use a colored pencil, like over here on the yellow, then there's going to be smaller spots. And it just really allows your preschooler a chance to kind of explore texture and feel those different sensations. And like even if they run their finger over it afterwards, they'll feel how they feel a little bit different. So just another idea to kind of make this a more dynamic activity. Another fun thing you can try when coloring with your preschoolers is rather than just having them color the egg all one color, you can kind of encourage them to try making some kind of design using just that color of different shades and different materials. So I have here a colored pencil, 3 different shades of purple markers, and a purple crayon. So I could maybe add some polka dots. So getting your preschooler to practice drawing those shapes. I could use maybe my crayon and kind of shade over top of some of my polka dots. And I could even then use like my colored pencil and maybe add like a star here and there. So just really get creative with it and just allow your preschooler to have a lot of fun when making these different eggs and challenge their ability to create some really creative designs. All right, so once you have colored all of them, and again, I would suggest maybe stretching this out over a few days just so you always have something fun coloring wise that works on those fine motor skills. But if you do choose to kind of complete it all in one day, then you want to wait until they're all colored in before you start the cutting process. So you can see, especially right here, you can see how there's these thicker lines and then these really thinner, more faded lines. So when you're cutting these out, do not cut on this thin line here. That thin line is kind of the binding of the book, so to speak. So if you cut that off, you're not going to have any place to reattach your book. So first I'm going to go and cut all the borders off of these pages, and then I'll show you what I mean by making sure you leave that space. All right, so I've cut the border off, and you can see how there's these thick lines that are there. If you want your preschooler to be working on their scissor skills, then I think it'd be best to have them cut off the border, and then you really kind of help guide them through cutting these thicker lines. That way this binding stays. So the binding is super important because I'm going to show you how to make this book without needing staples, tape, glue, anything like that. So that little binding part kind of needs to be there. But if you have staples, tape, glue, and you can kind of attach the book maybe like in a top corner, if this binding comes off, then that's okay too. So let me show you what your pages will look like. So once they're cut out, your egg will kind of be off center, and so then just start stacking them up, and it does not matter what color order your eggs are in. We definitely encourage you to kind of mix these up. So especially if you're not kind of consistently attaching it using a staple or glue, then you'll be able to kind of switch the pages in and out, and then the kids are really working on recognizing their colors when they go back and read this because it's not in a predictable order. So I will come back and show you all of my pages cut. Okay, so I have cut all of my pages out. They're all in here. And then what you're gonna do to make this into a book without your staples, tape, nothing like that, just a fold, is you're gonna lay it face down. So you can kind of see that. You're gonna lay it face down and then just fold right along that thinner gray line. Kind of really press down hard. Now it's not gonna stay together forever like this. The pages will come apart pretty easily, but you're still kind of able to flip through those pages and look at the different colors of eggs. So obviously if you do have a stapler, you just want to put 2 staples in by the corners. But again, then you won't be able to, you know, switch those pages out. But this will give your preschooler a really fun way to kind of contribute to their learning by creating the book. But then they also have a nice little book where they can practice that color recognition throughout the rest of the week. So I hope this was helpful, and I can't wait to see your completed books. Make sure to share them with your teachers. Bye!